feeling alive. This is a PSA. You think you need more books. Think, are you gonna move in the next couple of years? And if you are, what are you gonna do with those books? Moving pro tips. Okay, so if you're shipping something from Puerto Rico or you just can't drive with something, like something heavy, like books that are heavy and they add up quickly when you try to ship them, I recommend shipping with a large flat rate box. It's gonna cost you the same, and it's like this will be probably around like $20 to $30 versus if I tried to ship like the books that are going to go in here, it'll probably be like $50, and like add that up, and the bigger box, the more it's going to cost. You get these for free at the post office, and they're just like a cheaper way to ship. Also, you know, all of those grocery bags that you have no use for, that you just keep piling up, I use them when I'm shipping things because I get really nervous about water damage, especially with books. So I will be putting the books inside of these bags and then shipping them. But I kind of wanted to walk you through the books that I'm going to be taking. So the majority of the books I'm packing up today are classics or first books in series, because I'm not going to be starting any new series while I'm still packing up. So I felt like they were safe to take. So the first one is Lord of the Rings, and this is a box set, and I think it would look really nice on my shelf. And I also really want to eventually get into my fantasy era and like read the Lord of the Rings. I feel like, you know, it's coming. I'm feeling back in my groove. I read like a romance fantasy recently. Not saying that this is romance fantasy, but I read a book recently that really inspired me after trying to read a nonfiction finance book for a while, and like I'm feeling alive. So first book, I'm gonna put it away. And I kind of just like, I'll probably make 2 stacks, and I'm trying to think of like the best way to do this. I think this will be one side and the bigger books will be on the other side. The next book that I'm going to be taking, that is also a big book, something inspiring for the masses, is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Who am I? Why would I want to read this monstrosity? It is a big ass book, but you know, I've been really like into the idea of Russian literature. I haven't read any Russian literature, so I bought this to see if I'd like it. I don't know why I didn't pick maybe a shorter book, but those aren't questions for me to answer. These are questions for me to explore. So I'm gonna be also putting that away. And also I'm just gonna pack these up afterwards because I realize this like crinkly sound is going to make a little bit too much ASMR and it won't be enjoyable. So the next one is I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. I've really wanted to read this book for a really long time. This is a memoir of her life. It is very tragic in some points, but it also talks about hope and how she learned to love herself after the trauma she experienced. Definitely look up the trigger warnings. I do believe that there is a mention of sexual assault in this book, but definitely check it out if you're interested. It's one of the best books in the history of American literature. That's basically it. So that's what I have. The next one that I have on a very different note is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm writing sci-fi, so I really felt like I had to get into more classic sci-fi. I really liked Dune when I read it, so I have no doubt that I'm gonna like this book, especially it is so short and everyone says it's just a very entertaining read. I've never watched the movie, and I know supposedly it has to do with that Earth gets demolished to make space for a galactic highway, and the main character just has to hitchhike throughout the thing, and he runs into a lot of like different experiences and like situations, and it's just comical. So I think this will be a really fun read, especially someone that's coming from a sci-fi background, because people say this is a classic. Then the next book I have is Susan Sontag's I don't think I said that right, Illness as Metaphor and AIDS and Its Metaphors. You know, since I'm graduating med school and I'm entering the workforce, I really wanted to get into more humanities in terms of like medical humanities and seeing how the layperson thinks about medicine, because I think that will make me a better doctor, if that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot of disconnect between doctors and their patients at this moment, and I think that's caused a lot of disenfranchisement with the system. So I wanted to read this. This book was written by Susan Sontag while she was a cancer patient, so it's really just exploring death and illness and what it means to be sick and what it means to get better and how that changes your identity. So I do think it's a collection of essays, 2 essays in this really long book. It's long because it's essays, you know? It's long. And then the next book is actually something I want to reread, which is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I really enjoyed this when I read it in high school, so I'm looking to reread it and get into it. I don't know why I feel like getting into the 1920s, but I feel like I wanted to reread it. And yeah, so The Great Gatsby, we all recognize this cover. It does need no introduction. And El Principito by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I don't know if I said that right. I think I said it like I would in Spanish. This is actually a Spanish version of The Little Prince. This was actually a gift from a friend of mine when I was going through a tough time. Carolina, if you're watching this, thank you. So it is a story about the meaning of life. I don't know how else to say it. It's really short. It's a children's novel, and I'm reading it in Spanish because I speak Spanish, and I tend to enjoy if I'm reading a book in a different, if it was published in a different language and I know it, like it's a romance language, I like to read it in the romance language that I know, which is Spanish. Maybe eventually I'll get into French because I've been practicing French on Duolingo because I took it in high school and I liked speaking French, but we'll see about that. So then, as for the contemporary books that I'm bringing, again, they're all like the first books in the series. Legendborn, I bought this when it came out. I just haven't gotten to it because I feel like when I started reading again after a long pause, I was catching up with all the series that I had not finished. And like now I'm in the stage where I can start new series and like get involved with it without feeling guilty about having a bunch of series that aren't unfinished, which I still have, but like that's not the point. So Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, the second book's already out, so I'm going to be taking this one. The next book that I'm going to be taking, which is also hardcover, is Kaikei, which is a book that came out last year, and I don't know much about it, but after going to India recently, I really wanted the opportunity to read it because it's based on like Indian mythology, and I was really fascinated when I was there about Indian mythology, so I really think I'm gonna enjoy it. Plus like this cover is stunning. I like kind of bought it for the cover originally because the cover was just too much, and I don't know if it's a single or like a standalone or if it is a series book. And then the next thing that I have is Brandon Sanderson's Skyward. This is a science fiction. Again, I'm trying to read more contemporary science fiction, not contemporary science fiction, but science fiction that's popular, so I know what's on the market and like, you know, study the market a bit more. Obviously this isn't science fiction romance, but I do like reading science fiction books because I like the part of science fiction in the science fiction romance, and I like knowing how I'm implementing it into my story. If it sounds believable, how other people are doing it, I think it can give you really good ideas. And I do recommend that if you're writing, make sure that you explore what other people are doing in the industry, so like you can, it's not get ideas or steal them, but you're like, it inspires you to do other things, you know. There's a very famous book called Steal Like an Artist, which talks about that like nothing's original, and the best ideas come from ideas that exist that you just make your own spin on them. I can link it down below. And then the last book that I'm gonna have is The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I really need to finish Crooked Kingdom, which I haven't finished that series of like the Six of Crows, so like whatever, that's here because hopefully I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks I can get to it. But The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, I've heard so many mixed reviews about it. A lot of people that like Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone don't like this book, and I've heard just a lot of things about it, but I did want to pick it up myself since I know a lot of people that really liked it, and it's like the spooky vibes, and since I'm moving, like I hope to read it during like, you know, the spooky season. But yeah, these are the things I'm packing, so I'm gonna pack them. And yeah, what I'm doing to like keep track of the books that I own, I'm actually taking photos of all these, and I have a spreadsheet so that I can fill it out from my desk because like I don't want to be sitting here filling it out on a laptop. So okay, this is done. I was missing 2 more books, so I probably have to ship 1 more box, but I think with that I'm done, so that's exciting. Okay, so stay tuned. The books series that I will be finishing in the next couple of weeks, Kingdom of Ash. It's the next vlog coming up. After you see this video, go watch that one. The next one that I want to read, Burning God. I don't know if I'll vlog that because it's gonna be sad. And the last one, I might do the next one, the one that I'm about to say between the Burning God and Kingdom of Ash, because it might be a lot for me to deal with, but it is gonna be Crooked Kingdom, which people say it's also a lot to deal with, so who knows. But yeah, I'm just trying to like organize myself because when you have a lot of books, sometimes you forget, and also like you get like book buying happy. Wow, I need more books for more of my time, and like I don't have that much time. And also like I shouldn't be buying books to not read them, so no more buying books, just reading books that I own. It's too hot for me to drink, but I did want to mention that I am right now beta reading a book by a friend of mine, Alexandra Larson, but just because she's my friend, I'm not giving this recommendation, but it's a really good book. That it comes out, you should read it. It is a romantasy book. It is an urban fantasy, but that's all I really feel comfortable saying because I don't think she said much. There's more information on her TikTok and her Instagram in case you're wondering, but it comes out in July and I'm really liking it, but I'm just beta reading it, so I'm giving some recommendations. And and some of my feedback as I'm reading, and it's just very fun to do. But like, I've been zooming past it, and I feel like this is the book getting me out of my reading slump, and like, I have to tell her thank you. So thank you, Alexandria, for seeing this video. This is hot. And I also have like a sore throat. That's why I'm taking it. It is one called Throat Care with lemon echinacea. You know, people that smoke around you really should be, I don't smoke, people that do smoke, be cautious who you're around. You don't know how that will affect them and their conditions. So that was a dramatic reenactment of my morning. It is already 10:40 and I've done nothing all day. I've literally just lied in bed, but I'm still trying to reframe that because I'm in my self-help healing girl era, literally. So I didn't do anything. I rested because I woke up with a really sore throat, and then I took medicine for it. And by the time I felt good enough, like I ate breakfast, then I came back into bed because I was tired. But yeah, I think it's important that I get some movement in, so I'm just gonna go do like a 30-minute walk, like not even like that 13:30 whatever, the 5:30 whatever stuff that they do on the TikToks. No. But I just like think it's important, and I think something that always gets me, are you tilted? Something that's happened to me a lot that like I'm really trying to break is this thing where like if my morning was lost or if my day has been unproductive, that means the day is lost. Let's just give up on life. And I don't think that's like fair because I still have, 13 hours in the day to go, and today is actually exciting. I have like little test. Anyways, gotta go work out. I have my pink leggings on to make me feel in the zone, and I'm gonna go do the thing. Sashaying that walk, if you ask me. Hello. So in between, you might notice from my voice, but this is me on the up end. But right after I went scuba diving, I just got so sick and I could not finish this vlog. And I finally finished editing it, but I wanted to share it because I feel like moving is like super relatable when you have books. Like it is an issue, like it is a whole thing. And I don't see enough people that like move like from islands to the mainland or vice versa. So I kind of wanted to share that, and excuse my voice. But I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'm already in the middle of another one because I have been binging as much as one can binge an 1,000-page book, Kingdom of Ash. I started it yesterday afternoon, and I'm already like 600 pages in. I'm currently working, so you'll see more of that in my next vlog. And thank you so much for waiting. Sorry for not being able to upload so consistently, but I'm feeling good about it. And hopefully this is like the last like little roadblock I had for the couple of next months until I start, residency, which who knows how that's gonna hit me. I'm pretty sure like a cinder block. But anyways, if you like this video, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.